pleasure that we get to talk with the senior education consultant of Crimson Thailand today, Mr. Peter Kim.
Yeah.
Okay. So, can you tell us about yourself?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's probably one of the hardest questions. So my name is Peter Kim. I'm Korean by ethnicity, but I grew up in New Zealand. I lived there for about 18 years. So I first joined Crimson in the New Zealand office where we're headquartered, then worked in Melbourne for about a month before coming to Thailand. So I've been here for about 14-ish months. Yep, my role at Crimson, senior education consultant. What that means is I meet with families and tell them about what we do and try to figure out what they need. The other side would be the marketing stuff that your sister Alyssa's actually kind of spearheading at the moment. So that's a little bit about me.
Many of us don't know about this business, and I want you to tell us what Crimson do.
So if anyone asks me what we do, I'd say we're definitely in the business of changing the student's life. So we help students identify goals in their life, both educationally and professionally, draw like a straight line between now and those possible destinations, and help them holistically, not just academically, but in terms of their life skills, college application, public speaking, all of that.
You also guide the students to do the activities, push them to do it, right?
Oh, you know it.
Alyssa told me about it.
Sure. Yep. So I think although we are an education company, because education is supposed to be lifelong and beyond just what the school is about, we would like to be known as a life coaching company.
Since it's new in Thailand, do you have any competitors? I've never seen this business before. So is there any other company that do like this?
So there are definitely companies who do a part of what we do. They're called private college counselors or consultants. There's one company that we shall not name, run by an ex Stanford guy. He's been doing this for 18 years. His main area of expertise is getting students in to top US colleges, MBA programs. And he's actually been doing this for over 15 years. So as you can kind of tell, it's very hard for us to use the exact same model and expect to compete against 15 years worth of track record. So that's why we've chosen to differentiate our model.
Oh, so there no company that do like Crimson, right?
We don't actually compete with these companies. Why? We're targeting a different group of open-minded families, I think. Families who don't just want the end result in the form of a college acceptance result. But yes, we do compete against them, but actually we don't, because we feel that our offering is very differentiated.
Oh, so Crimson is very unique from other company, right?
I would say so.
So how did Crimson come to Thailand? What opportunity did you see to import this business?
So to be honest, I did not see the opportunity. I just got sent here, right? Crimson, just to tell you a bit about Crimson, it was started by a guy called Jamie Beeden. He's now he's like 22 or 23 years old. He graduated from Harvard and he worked for a hedge fund billionaire called Julian Robinson, who actually funded the company, poured basically millions of dollars in it, allowing Crimson to expand beyond New Zealand. Southeast Asia is a very unique opportunity for Crimson and education companies because it's third world in education, right? So I think the education system here is very behind the rest of the world, and both, it's just very behind, I would say. Some indicators might be the ranking of local universities, no offense to Bangkok University. Two would be the curriculum of Thai high schools. Those would be just some indicators of how behind Thailand is. Also, I feel that Thailand, private education relies heavily on traditional brick and mortar tutoring centers that don't really try to impact the student's life. They just, tutor, and that's all they do. So for Crimson, from a marketing or sales standpoint, expansion standpoint, it's a very low cost, high value market. Why? Labor costs relatively cheap. The competitors are very weak and don't actually care about education that much. And it's a very easy market for us to enter and dominate.
Last question, and since I'm sure many of us don't really know about this, so what is your media channel you use for your communication plan?
Sure. So I think like as an education business, the way that we conduct marketing and the channels we use has to be quite different to say a fast-moving, like consumer goods company or a car dealership. It has to be quite different. So at the very, very beginning, when we came to Thailand, no one knew who we were. No one cares that we're from New Zealand, or no one cares that we are a global company. So we actually engaged a PR company to promote not just like what Crimson does, because if we just explain what we do, we might sound very similar to our competitors, but our philosophy and also the benefits of the global platform. So I think we had around 30 different articles kind of establishing the credibility and reputation of our manager, Pom, as kind of like the face or the figurehead of the company. The second thing was we held events, seminars, free seminars where attendees could come and learn a lot of information. Not just that, but really get motivated. When we ran these seminars, because these seminars already happened, right? Our competitors, they've been doing this for a while. We looked at what all of the topics that they ran and tried to differentiate what we talked about. We also brought in foreign guest speakers that you can't access here in Thailand, right? I'm sure Thai people love listening to Thai Stanford alumni or Harvard alumni, but they get really excited at the sight of like blonde hair, brunette hair. They love that foreign excitement. I think number 3 would be social media. So I think marketing, the traditional marketing is kind of dead. It's all about Facebook, Instagram, all of that, Google. So we try to replicate the strategy that we used overseas, especially in New Zealand and Australia. To give you a point of reference, in New Zealand and Australia, a lot of our leads, a lot of our revenues come directly from social media, and we don't spend much money on that. So that's been quite cool. I think the challenge for us though is that within Thai families, it's the mum and the dad who drive the decision-making process. The kid just goes to school. Whereas in Western countries, the kids are very independent. They like to approach and contact education companies. So here, I think our challenge really has been, social media is powerful, but how do we use that to target the parents? And finally and lastly, I think although these 3 things were very important to establish ourselves at the beginning, ultimately this is like an extremely word-of-mouth driven business. So as long as we deliver great service, we actually feel, and I personally feel strongly, that we don't need to do any marketing at all. In fact, the companies out there doing marketing are quite desperate because their service actually isn't that good. Example that I always love to draw is Tesla. Tesla is a company that's very different. They spend $0 on advertising. They spend all of their money developing good products. And I feel that this is the kind of marketing model that Crimson should adopt, right? Rather than trying to convince people that we're good, we just are good and people just tell themselves. So hopefully that's the direction moving forward.
That's a cool idea, because I saw many of business today like focus on social media, like how do they want to post on their Instagram or Facebook, but this is very different. I must say.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So knowing, what we do, what you've just heard from me and your sister, do you have any advice? Let's say that you are like a marketing consultant for us. Whoa, right? Yeah. But you've been asking me some tough questions. Do you have any advice for us?
Oh, okay. Any advice? What do you think, my
I mean, like, what do Thai people care about in a service business, do you reckon?
Oh, I must say, like, social media, that's like what they do to get the consumer. Like, what I study about is that this generation, we have to focus on who we want to go, and I'm sure you know about that. Yeah, so you can balance. Like, I know Crimson is a good company, but social media is important too, because people will get to know about this by social media in this generation. Yeah, so like it is one thing that I don't think you have to skip it.
So yeah.
So advice.
so
Maybe because I am studying advertising or communication art, so I think it's very important. Yeah.
cool. Okay.
Maybe you can tell us about the Instagram or Facebook page if my friend in class want to search about Crimson Company.
Yep, sure.
Yeah.
So you can find us on Facebook, Crimson Space Education. Our website is also crimsoneducation.org. You can also find us on YouTube. This is actually quite an amazing story. So on YouTube, we have, so Crimson is a very different company to the other education companies because we have a full team of around 30 to 40 computer programmers and developers. You name me one other company in Thailand that is trying to build something rather than just deliver services. So that's something quite cool. We also have a full-time video team shooting videos of students already at some of the dream schools that our kids want to go to, and some of our videos on YouTube have over 500,000 views. So some kids, they go on YouTube to find inspiration, and then they watch this cool kid at Yale doing the things that other Yale kids do, get really fired up, and then they approach Crimson. So for us, it's not just about delivering a certain service or fulfilling a need. We have to create that need, especially in Thailand. Some parents don't even know, can my child make it to a US college, right? Yeah. If for example your mom didn't have faith in Alyssa, if your mom wanted Alyssa to just stay here as the default option just because she went to a local Thai school, would she have gone abroad? Maybe not, right? So we feel that we need to educate the market before being able to sell to the market. So YouTube, Facebook, and our website.
Okay.
Instagram. it's gonna be on fire, coming soon. Cool.
Thank you.
Okay, that was fun. Awesome.
Thank you.
Oh god.
Yes.